Welcome to What's the Deal Wednesday. I'm Stephanie Wilson, the Argyle Insider, and today I'm answering the question, what's the deal with the Argyle ISD Bond Election happening on May 7th? And I am here with Leslee Shannon. She is one of the co-chairs for the Bond Committee. And so thank you for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yes, well, I can't imagine how much work went into this, so thank you for that. Tell us a little bit about the committee and how did y'all put this together?
Sure. Well, I had the pleasure to serve as the co-chair of the Bond Committee. We started meeting back in October of last year and met through January. We had 7 meetings. There were 24 members. And we spent a lot of time overseeing and discussing and studying demographic numbers, projections for the future, financial numbers, to really try to understand what we were dealing with. Mm-hmm. And we took all the information that we received from the survey, from all the other information we received, and came up with a plan. And it became evident during the process that as much as we wanted to come up with an answer for the high school, that it wasn't possible to come up with a solution for the high school today, because it was a bigger issue than just something that 24 members of the Bond Committee could decide.
Right.
And so we realized and made a suggestion to the administration that this needs to be a community-wide process, and we will plan for the near future. And so this bond covers 2 schools, 2 elementary schools and a middle school that will help provide for the next few years.
All right, so help me break this down. The total bond package is what amount?
It is $267,885,000.
Okay, that's broken into 3 propositions.
Correct. The state legislature in Texas changed the law a few years ago, and anything that is extracurricular, sports, or fine arts related has to stand on its own proposition. So there is Proposition A, that is $221,085,000, and that is the biggest proposition that has 2 elementary schools, a new middle school, and several other pieces as well. Some land funds for land for the new schools, some planning for a second middle school that'll be coming down the road, some new school buses, some upgrades and furniture refreshes at some of the existing campuses, as well as some security and technology upgrades.
Okay, so that's really the bulk of it. But then we have Proposition B.
Correct. And Proposition B is for a stadium that will be built at the Canyon Falls High School campus. And it would be a 9,000 seat football stadium that will be around the existing track and existing field house and turf field that's already there at the Canyon Falls campus.
Okay. And then Proposition C.
And Proposition C is an indoor athletic facility that would also be built at Canyon Falls, next door to or adjacent to the proposed stadium.
Okay, so that maybe it will eliminate some of the shuffling between
Absolutely, yes.
high school kids getting them over to the middle school.
Absolutely,
activity center.
yeah.
Okay.
That way, and that would be utilized by fine arts, by athletics, by all sorts, by the community. Lots of youth sports would be able to use that facility. So,
what will this do to our taxes if all 3 propositions pass?
Sure. Well, there would be, and the voters will have, as a part of their request for approval, whether Prop A or Prop A, B, and C pass, there would be a 1.5 cent increase to the interest and sinking fund on the school tax. So there are 2 parts to the school tax. There's maintenance and operating, and then there's an interest and sinking fund. The maintenance and operating covers the everyday expenses like utilities, teacher salaries, etc. And that is actually shrinking thanks to the Texas legislature and some recent changes that were made. And so the net impact to taxpayers is that what you're paying today is actually more than what you'll be paying next year, even if we approve this 1.5 cent increase. So really the good news is that there's really going to be minimal impact for your pocketbook.
So how could it negatively impact our schools and our communities if this doesn't get passed?
Well, growth is real. We're looking at a double enrollment, the total enrollment for the district doubling in the next 5 years.
Wow.
Which is significant. So if this doesn't pass, we will have overcrowding at our existing campuses. Even with the 3rd new elementary school coming on in the fall, the numbers are there that with all the houses being built, with all the people coming in, Argyle has fantastic schools, people want to be here, we're going to have overcrowding. And that would specifically look like portables. A few years ago at Hilltop Elementary, there were portable classrooms before Argyle West Elementary opened. and that would be the case. So there's security issues, there are just facilities issues, having to walk into the main building to use the restroom. Lunch periods, with overcrowding, your child may be eating lunch at 10 in the morning or at 1:30 in the afternoon, which is not ideal for anybody, especially elementary students. And just the challenges that are involved with having, just an overcrowded campus. So it's not ideal, definitely not ideal, not what we need for our students or what anybody expects out of Argyle.